Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Expectations with me, Craig. Wow, game week 6 is coming. Yes, just a few hours away from the transfer deadline. And as always, I'm never the only one in the studio and doing the show. I need the experts. And who better to call on than the expert himself, my man, Joe. It's been
Hi. Yeah, been a
forever.
while. Forever. Yeah.
We've had,
Sorry.
I think,
I know you've contacted me for the past few game weeks, and so many things have happened since then. Struck down with traveling is one thing, struck down with COVID is another thing. But finally get to be well again and finally be on the show. I mean, like, it's game week 6.
I know, exactly.
Yeah. It's been missing since the preseason until now.
Yeah, it was one of those where, I mean, for those of you who are watching and wondering where Joe was, he never left the show or anything like that. It was just obviously work got in the way. He's been a busy man with work, and then I'm sure you don't mind me saying, Joe, he was struck down with COVID recently as well. So he had to battle through that. So he's fit, he's healthy, he's passed his late fitness test. And he is back with us here at FPL Expectations, all ready to tackle game week 6. I mean, we did not do anything for game week 5. It was a very weird timing. It was very, the midweek ones are always a bit tough. I did explain this before. But we will look at game week 5 and obviously see how you got on, Joe. And yeah, I mean, it was one of those where, I'll come on. I mean, I've titled this show Salah or Haaland, and it came down to that essentially, didn't it? I mean, everyone was absolutely amazed from game week 4 that Salah blanking, not even getting an assist against Bournemouth, and they won 9-0. Whereas on the other hand, you got Haaland and the Haaland captainers with him banging a hat trick, and you can't say it was the wrong decision. But we moved on to game week 5, and again, it was that same conundrum. Is it going to be Salah? Is it going to be Haaland? Is Haaland going to play? We know about Pep Roulette and everything like that. Haaland did play. Haaland did start. And Haaland did get another hat trick. Whereas Salah captainers getting away with 2 assists. I mean, talk us through game week 5.
So if you look at my team, I don't know, is it because of the COVID or what, playing tricks in my mind. I did a very peculiar move on game week 5.
Okay.
I think also because due to a little bit of FOMO, I had two transfers on my hand in game week 5, and initially I had no idea what to do with them. I think just like many of us. And then came the match. I think it was Forest against Spurs.
Yeah.
It's a match where Henderson got his penalty save. And he's phenomenal again.
Well, he was really good in that match, wasn't he? I mean, the amount of time he kept Kane out and so on.
Yeah, I mean, like as a United fan yourself, you'll be like baffling. You'll be like baffled. Like, why did we let this guy go?
Not really.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, with Henderson, very good keeper, we knew that. But there's no point of him. He's not a number 2. He needs to be playing, and especially in the World Cup year.
Yeah,
in the World Cup year, he needs to be playing first team football. So at the age that he is, at a stage of his career where he's at, there's no way he was going to spend another season on the bench, So I think it was always a good thing to let him go out on loan and then reassess it next season. And then if he comes back and becomes our number 1 with his performances being like that.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, do you not think that he, even right now, he should be your number 1?
Look, I know De Gea had a couple of was shaky against Brentford. Was it? Yeah, Brentford.
Yeah, Brentford.
But then I think in the last 2 games he's bounced back really well. I mean, we've kept 2 clean sheets. His save the other day from Maddison's free kick was insane. Top corner one, coming with his right hand across. I think it's a new. I mean, with Ten Hag and his new playing style, it's all about playing the ball out the back. But I think the most important thing is decision making and knowing when to play the ball out from the back. And I think he got caught out against Brentford in that respect, And you got to remember, it's still at that time when we played Brentford, there still hadn't been a lot of games under Ten Hag, So I think that relationship will develop. And look, he's not going to become a different player overnight. I think it will be a position that United look at in the transfer window next year, maybe. But I think Henderson has the ability to prove himself at Forest and show Ten Hag that he wants to be number one at United. And I think that could change next season, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, just talking about my team, I did a really peculiar move. I actually sold Ramsdale to Henderson right before the City match.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a spur of the moment, pun intended. As he saved that penalty from Spurs, then I was thinking, I've started comparing it with Ramsdale. Ramsdale, yes, Arsenal's defense is pretty solid at the moment, but they do let in those odd goals.
Yeah,
which actually just destroys Ramsdale's bonus points. So he has been having those 2-pointers even against pretty, I would say, easier teams. Not many saves as well. Whereas Henderson is relying most on save points, an odd penalty save here and there. So I was thinking, it was a pun at best. Could Henderson get more points in terms of saves as compared to Ramsdale, which I expected 2 points? And yes, at the end he did only have those 2 points against Villa, but unfortunately Henderson didn't do enough saves against City and got trashed instead. 6-0.
It's quite the opposite, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean that move could have waited a week, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it was also triggered because I did that move, and then after that, rumors of James being benched, James being out, sort of fuel another panic situation where I actually dropped him. I actually sold James. I sold him
2 transfers in the end.
Yeah, that I did. I actually did 3 transfers. I actually took a hit on getting 5.
Wow.
Which was a bit unnecessary because if I did the Henderson move earlier, and then after that, last minute I took a hit. If I didn't do the Henderson move, it will probably just using two transfers. But what I did was I dropped James for Williams.
Yeah.
Neko Williams, and I did Harrison. I mean, was it Harrison Reed? Yeah, I think Harrison Reed for Harrison.
Yeah,
Leeds Harrison. So thinking, hoping that it could pay off with Leeds playing Everton at home, but sadly it didn't really pay off as much as I hoped for. So which is why I took a hit. But then with all things considered, actually this hit was taken also because I'm looking ahead.
Yeah.
Especially for GW6, I know I want Williams in my team.
Neko Williams,
Neko Williams home against Bournemouth, and also I don't mind having Henderson. Henderson, his game week 6 fixtures. Game week 6 onwards fixtures are pretty.
So you're talking about a double up on Forest defense.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, so, that's brave.
Yeah, exactly. So I was thinking at least playing both of them against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Considering Bournemouth in a pretty dire situation, they didn't strengthen at all during the transfer window, and they just lost their manager. So and whereas Forest, they practically recruited a whole new team and more.
21 signings.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it. I think there was actually a transfer that collapsed as well. The Batshuayi, right? The Batshuayi transfer collapsed.
The Batshuayi didn't
it didn't materialize. No, it didn't go through. So apparently Chelsea failed to deliver the paperwork on time because they were obviously doing their own deals with Juventus for Zakaria and Barca for Oba and things like that.
Yeah.
So they got so tied up with that they kind of left it a bit too late for Batshuayi, and he didn't get his move to Forest, so it could have been 22, but it ended up on 21. I think.
If it's 22, they can have three. They can field probably three teams at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's pretty insane. I'm not sure what their strategy is.
Yeah.
Recruiting so many people at once. Could it work out? I don't know. But so far it doesn't. I mean, it will take time for them to gel together. So hoping, as they take time, Henderson racks up those save points.
Bonus
points as well. Yeah. So this is my move. So with that hit, 79, I think. Because I captain Haaland.
Yeah.
And I have dunk own goal is just sad.
Yeah, you can't do much about that. Yeah.
But at least I have Cancelo and Diaz double up.
Yeah.
So
that was another one going into game week 5, wasn't it? That Cancelo. There was a lot of people that were looking to to maybe strengthen elsewhere in their teams. And obviously Cancelo hadn't really produced the goods in the 4 game week so far. And I think him, like how people are questioning Robertson as well. He was one that was coming under the microscope as well in terms of value. For the 7 million that we're paying, are we getting a return on that? And attacking wise, obviously it was analysed, and I think going into it, he only had 1 assist. And obviously a lot of people thought I can get some money and fund it elsewhere. So that was an interesting one, and like you, I kept him, and we got a return from it, a Cancelo goal. But I think when I was watching the highlights, I heard an interesting stat. He's only scored like 3 goals for City. Is that true?
Yeah, he doesn't really score much.
He scored 3 goals for City. I'm thinking, I'm scratching my head. I'm thinking we're paying a premium for this guy, right? At 7 million. And he's only scored 3 goals for City. And I find that baffling. I actually do. And then it makes me question, are we looking at Cancelo? Okay, how are we looking at Cancelo? We obviously we're not banking on him for his clean sheets. Because if we were, we'd go to a cheaper option like a Diaz or a Walker or something like that, right? That's number 1. Number 2, okay, obviously his attacking returns last season were great. But with this new kind of shift, a tactical shift that Pep's got them playing with his fullbacks, are we missing out on something here? Are we overspending on that defense with Cancelo? And what are your thoughts on that?
I think at the moment, Cancelo, this is just my opinion. I feel that Cancelo is just a little bit too pricey too pricey.
Yeah.
At 7 million, because like what you say, I think this season so far, I think he's still involved, but probably not as involved as last time. Yeah. Because in the last time where the way City is being, the way they play is really the dynamic. Everybody takes turns to shift around, to go for goal, to do something in terms of attack. But this season they have Haaland, and the whole team. I think this is definitely deliberate. They revolve around Haaland to get the final ball, to pass the ball to him, to create chances for him, and you can see, in terms of XG, Haaland has been putting out 7.8 XG so far. Ridiculous. It's crazy. But yeah, if he hawks the XGs, where the other, what about the other players? So I would say in terms of price, we are paying a little bit more for Cancelo, which might not be of value. But if you ask me, I would say the assist, it should be still there. I think definitely the goal threat. That goal was a wonderful goal. I think he saw an opportunity and he took it. But I don't think it will be something that he do often. That's for sure. But I think another aspect we pay extra for Cancelo is because he is probably the most nailed after Edison. After Edison and Rodri, I would say he is probably the most nailed player in that City team.
I'm going to come to that. Cancelo has also. We talk about Robertson being taken off for Tsimikas over the last few game weeks. Cancelo's also had the same on a few occasions. And is it Sergio Gomez that they've got at left back?
Yeah. Yep.
Is there a risk that he plays him or brings him more into the team, Sergio Gomez? I mean, we talk about. I'm just saying because we talk about Robertson, and we talk about how on the 60th minute or whatever 65th minute, he always comes up with Tsimikas, and his form hasn't been great. I see a lot of similarities with Cancelo. Okay, maybe the goal might have changed things a bit in Pep's mind, but I've seen him been taken off in the last few game weeks as well. And is there a risk? I mean, ideally you don't want to spend all that money and have him being taken off, but at the same time, maybe the job's done as well. He's just resting him, so there is that argument.
Yeah, that's probably my first argument as well. I think the way Pep uses more of the subs this season so far.
Yeah.
As compared to previous seasons where he usually don't even use one.
Yeah.
So we can see, there are subs being done when the game is being wrapped up, and even Haaland gets early rest at the past few matches. So I mean, if you ask me, 7 million as compared to Diaz extra 1 million. I mean, if you compare all the defenders in what you call it in City, I think Cancelo still comes out probably the top in terms of goal involvements.
Yeah.
So if you're comparing with other players, his XGI is still a tad higher than the other defenders. So this is I think, I mean, if you compare with other teams, definitely you have other teams which are higher, but if you compare within the City lineup itself, City squad itself, I still think Cancelo is still the highest. So basically it's like comparing it's like comparing the highest in City and probably the highest in Liverpool, which is Trent. It's 7 million versus 7.5. I still think that's still pretty. It's still okay at the moment, because I don't think, and if you really want to save on that, let's say if you do Cancelo to Diaz, you save a 1 million.
Yeah.
It really depends on how you use this 1 million as well. Does a player you bring in with the extra 1 million has higher goal involvements?
Correct. Yeah, you got to compare it. Yeah, and also they've just. I mean, we talk about that downgrade to Diaz. They've also signed Akanji. Don't forget. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's another. I'm not saying that Diaz is, the one that's going to be rotated, but it's another centre back in there. It gives Pep that flexibility.
I think if you ask me, I think Cancelo is probably the most nailed in terms of defense. To start, at least, not most nailed to get 90 minutes, but at least
And there's another reason why as well. There's no one else that can play right back, as far as I know, at City. So even if they wanted to bench Walker, technically it'll be Cancelo shifting over to the right back spot. So he's kind of taking up like two spots. At least at left back, you look at it, you got that Sergio Gomez there, and he can pop in for Cancelo whenever. But at right back for Cancelo, Walker being older as well, I think he'll be prone to more rest than Cancelo. But I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I don't think there's a right back there for City to replace with. No. So there you go. That could be another way of saying it. Okay, we've talked about game week. Your game week 5, 79 points you ended on, Joe. Let's pop on to the next bit, which is the eye test from game week 5, and obviously a lot of good performances in that game week. But who caught your eye? I mean, the obvious ones, obviously Haaland, which goes without saying. But were there any other players that caught your eye in this game week?
Alexander Isak.
I was gonna go to that. The only worrying thing about that is that he went off with a dead injury, with a dead leg. But it's a dead leg.
But I think he should be fine.
Yeah. I mean, what is he? 7 million?
Yes.
Well, I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, is that a third striker spot available? Are you tempted?
I watched the way he took those goals, even the disallowed one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's phenomenal. I mean, you imagine he comes in just probably like 2 days before and plays against Liverpool at Anfield, and to be able to be so composed, and this boy, he knows what he's doing. Once he gets the ball, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants to do. Even
he's very direct with his running, isn't he?
Yeah, and his feet is so quick, especially with the disallowed goal. Yeah, where he got past, I think, Gomez and
Trent, I think.
Trent, yeah, I think it's like so. It looks so effortless. So I don't know. He really caught my eye.
Yeah.
And I think Newcastle needs a player like him.
Yeah.
With Wilson, it's like so inconsistent in terms of injuries and things like that. I can see Isak doing good things. Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. Does he start ahead of Wilson?
If you ask me, I would say I would say when Wilson's back, probably they both can play together.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm not so sure about the details in terms of team structure. But
yeah,
he's too good to be benched. If you ask me, I think Newcastle really needs that the final piece of the puzzle in their attack. Because in terms of midfield, they are pretty good. It's just up top. I don't think Chris Wood is somebody they can rely on 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Wilson definitely yes, if he's fit, but Isak just adds another dimension to the whole team.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm a big fan of him. I've been watching him for a few years actually.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, funnily enough, he signed for Newcastle last week, right? The week before that, I was watching Barca versus Sociedad,
and he scored, right?
And he scored. I mean, like watching that goal, it was Frankie De Jong that lost possession in midfield, and then it went on. But watching that goal first time and the finish, and I was just like, wow. I mean, I've always rated him because I've seen him over the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously when you see the replay, there was a big deflection on it. So it looked better than it actually was. But the fact that, when I talked about his direct running, that's what he's about, and I mean, to go away to Anfield and do what he did as well.
Yeah, I mean, even his goal is great finish.
Yeah,
he picks
very
his
good
spot,
finish.
And it's so powerful, so direct. He knows where he wants to put the ball at, and he puts it.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one that caught my eye, definitely, and I just want to monitor it. Just that injury at the end, I was just like, but we'll see. Anyone else? There's one more guy that caught my eye, which I really wanted to ask you about, and I just want to see if you bring it up.
Oh, one more guy. I mean, I gotta admit, I didn't really watch much highlights.
Okay, I'll give it to you anyway. Julian Alvarez.
Yes. I saw that highlight. Yes.
I mean, the way he took his goals, and I was just looking at, I'm like, is this a player that Pep can afford to keep on the bench? I mean, he looked very good.
He looked electric. He knows what he wants. He every time he gets the ball, it's just one thing on his mind: score, goal.
Yeah. And but then I was looking at it, and like he was playing off the right hand side, but he can play up front as well. Obviously, it adds a span into the works for that Haaland spot and that captaincy, because that is what you think. If Haaland's not playing, then you think Alvarez will go into that role. But I mean, he was so explosive. I'm just thinking, like seeing Mahrez play. Mahrez looks, he doesn't look like he's on it just yet. I think Foden will probably take the left-hand side. Grealish still hasn't really done anything since he's joined City, and he's injured as well. There's a real potential that this kid could start, over the next few weeks as well.
Yeah, just to add to that, I think the way he plays, yes, he can fit in the team, but if you ask me whether he can replace Haaland, it's a really different play style. And Haaland is more of the physical presence. Whether is it during set pieces, during counter attacks, or just attack in general. I don't think Alvarez can offer what Haaland does to the team. But if you ask me, I think Alvarez can play really well together with Haaland. They pair up really well.
Pep hinted about this yesterday in the press conference, didn't he?
About
them playing both together? Of them.
Because I think at the moment the way City plays, Haaland is really I would say the sorry. I would say Haaland is more of the backbone in that attack at the moment. Just with his physical presence, with him holding the ball, with him pulling defenders wide and making those spaces. It opens up the defense, and also at the same time he's hot on form. So whoever team is playing against him would probably think of what to do with Haaland there in the penalty box. Even his presence in the team sort of like scares the opponent. So if you ask me, I would say Alvarez at the moment probably plays better with Haaland. But because and the whole team is currently being trained or used to that. But if Haaland is being rested and you replace it with Alvarez, I would say the whole team, the way they play might need to change a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm not Pep, so if Haaland really sits out this one and Alvarez slots into the front, pretty sure City the whole team is prepared for that as well.
Okay. One more player that caught your eye, if there's any, over game week 5?
I think probably the Brighton defender. I can't pronounce his name properly.
Estepinian.
Estepinian, yeah.
Yeah, the left back.
So he's really attacking for defender.
Yeah.
And I think at his price, it's a really good price.
Yeah.
And if he gets those minutes under Potter, it should be another good player to have in your team.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for that, Joe. Just a reminder to everyone watching, just about 50 minutes to go until the deadline. So if you haven't made your transfers, do remember to make that, set your captaincies. And if you do have any questions and you want Joe to help you out with, pop them in the chat below. We'll get to them. straight after we're done with this. So don't worry about that. We will be on hand to help you. But just a reminder, get your team sorted. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments section. All right. Players to target in game week 5 and transfers. So, Joe, I mean, we talked about the eye test and the ones. What about the ones with good fixtures coming into game week 6 and possible transfers? Just going on Twitter and scrolling through, there's obviously a lot of people that have 2 transfers. There's a lot of talk about Ramsdale coming out this week. There's question marks whether he plays or not. But where are we at with this in terms of players to target?
I think the obvious one is to target players that plays against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Because like I mentioned just now, Bournemouth, the transfer window's closed. They practically did not strengthen the squad at all. It's still a championship squad. If you look at their strikers, I think Solanke, is he back?
So,
I think he's still probably still
injured. Yeah,
still injured or not fit enough yet. And they have to start with players like Kiefer Moore.
Yeah.
And practically basically the whole team is a championship team, and they are trying to do something in the Premier League, which is unfortunate. I don't think they. I mean, yes, they won the first game against Villa, but after that, it has been downhill ever since. Granted, they play against strong teams, but now they lose their manager.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure whether are there any rumors of new managers coming in. So
I heard Sean Dyche being mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is. I don't know if there's any any truth to that. I've heard he's a possibility that's in there. I mean, he's been waiting around for a Premier League job. So there's
but I mean, I don't doubt his ability, but this team is just lacks the quality at the moment.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
in my eyes, it's a championship team, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's practically a championship team. They came to the Premier League with the same team.
Yeah.
And it's not that like they have been just relegated the season before. Basically, it's still it's a championship team. So definitely team to target. And this week, Nottingham Forest is playing against them. So Forest, I think they definitely want to make a statement out of the match. They are under pressure now because they recruited so many people. They would definitely want to convert, those efforts into points.
Yeah.
So what better way to kickstart the campaign other than playing against Bournemouth at home?
Yeah.
So I would say in terms of fixtures, probably Forest is a team to bring in, players to bring in, but don't go rush and bring in triple Forest and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like there are some names that came up to mind. Of course, first is Neko Williams. Neko Williams, I think his
XG is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, his goal involvement so far, although he did not have any goal involvements yet, but his expected goal involvements is pretty high. It's probably the highest in the Forest team at the moment. And he's really doing well in terms of eye tests.
Yeah.
And it's only 4.1.
Yeah.
So he's cheap enough that you can bench him in the harder matches and bring him out in matches like this.
Yeah.
And another player is if you have a luxury to move to make a transfer for a goalkeeper, definitely Henderson is the one to look at. Let's see. They are playing at home to Bournemouth this week. Next week they're playing away to Leeds, which is not. I mean, it's still a pretty decent fixture for them.
Yeah.
And then the week after that they're playing at home against Fulham. Then the week after that they play away to Leicester. So Leicester at the moment they are not really in a good place as well. So it's in terms of fixtures, I think Forest is having one of the better fixtures compared to all the teams in the Premier League.
Yeah. Okay. So we're targeting Forest players. I mean, from an attacking point of view, anyone that we should be looking at?
Okay. I think if you look at the strikers, I think strikers is a bit of a roulette at the moment. Yeah. You have Dennis in trying to get a start, but I think probably more value if you look at their midfield.
Yeah.
There is Jesse Lingard right there. There is Morgan Gibbs-White as well. I think I read somewhere on Twitter there is a thread going on about Morgan Gibbs-White. In terms of eye tests, he passed the eye test. Is really involved in the attack, and doing well as well. And he's only like what
5.5.
Yeah, 5.5. So he could be the ideal Neto replacement or even Rodrigo replacement if you're looking to punt for a short-term player before your first World Cup.
Okay, fantastic. Okay,
yeah. So these are, I mean, in terms of attack, probably Lingard and Morgan Gibbs-White are the only.
Will be the ones that you look at.
Yeah.
For Forest.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. Okay, so now we're going to move on to your team reveal, Joe. And I know you hinted on Twitter just before you came on the show as to what your moves are for Game Week 6, but let's see it officially and go through it with us.
So the move that I made is Ruben Dias to Reece James.
Okay.
So because I think James, he's declared fit by Tuchel.
Yeah.
He was out not because of an injury or not because of a physical injury, but more of a precaution, an illness. So an illness, and it's I would say it's a mild one because he's already back in training. And seeing Chelsea lost last game week against Southampton, they would definitely want to bounce back. I mean, they are under pressure doing that. And James is probably their best creator in that team, especially when he slots back, if he slots at right wing back. I think Fofana, I'm not sure whether he will start or not. I would say probably he should be given a chance. So if Fofana starts at right centre back, we could hope that James pushes back to his natural position, which is right wing back. So if that happens, his goal involvements, his XGIs, I think will be back up again, because I personally can't see James always starting at right centre back. It just doesn't. It's not optimum. It's not an optimized position for him. You see.
Yeah.
So as I mean, if Chelsea are winning games right, left, and centre, you might see him continue playing at right centre back, but at the moment they're not, and they really need those goals. So the best way to do that is to put players at their best position. So hopefully we can see James goes back to right wing back, and Fofana comes in at right centre back.
Okay, interesting. And obviously, with the captaincy, I mean, that's probably the most important question this week. It's the question on everyone's lips. Everyone wants to know who you're captaining. And there it is for everyone to see. Talk us through why you've decided to go with Erling Haaland.
Okay, I think firstly, after back-to-back hat tricks, will he get a third hat trick in a row? I don't know. I mean, basically, why I put it on Haaland is purely because of this thing called the effective ownership, which is EO, because I can see Haaland being really heavily captain. Definitely, after back-to-back hat tricks.
Would that not be an amazing opportunity? Salah in a derby, and I mean, how often do we say that Salah's the differential? Let's be honest. How often do we say that over the last couple of years? But would this not be the perfect time?
I mean, if I mean, this will probably be a perfect time if you are trying to chase rank. But if you ask me, it's only game week 6. It's too early to go to move to rank chasing mode. If you ask me, it should be. I mean, this is just my opinion.
Following the herd, you should follow the herd.
Yeah, I mean, this is just how I play. We should follow the herd until things stabilize, and until the rankings not as volatile as before. And then after that, only you pop in like differential captains or pop in differential players. But because at the same time, Salah, yes, he's been creating those chances. I think he creates the most chances in the league so far. But in terms of going for goals himself, I don't think. I think last match, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw this somewhere. He only like one shot. Is it 1 or 2 shots?
Yeah.
In his XG was like a bit low, although he did create those 2 chances. Yeah. So Salah, he's not really popping in those goals himself at the moment.
Correct.
And Darwin is coming back. Jota is also coming back soon, and we know Jota, he's such a XG magnet.
Sorry, I just want to go. I mean, you touched on Nunez coming back. Yeah. I mean, Salah's goals. I mean, Salah's looked good when Nunez has been there.
Yeah, but if you ask me, if Nunez is there, he is probably the one getting those big chances.
Yeah.
As compared to Salah, it just looks different. It just looks different so far this season. Whereas Haaland, on the other hand, 7.8 XG, crazy. He has been getting. I mean, this Man City team we know since few seasons ago until now, they have been creating those huge chances with their football, and just nobody to be always there consistently to put them away, and now they have one.
Yeah.
So whereas if you look at this Liverpool team, Salah is not the one getting all those chances.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, he's creating those chances, but he's not the one at the end of those chances as compared to Haaland. So I don't know. I mean, in terms of eye test, in terms of the way City has played. In terms of EO, my armband's on Haaland at the moment.
On Haaland, yeah. Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's always a tricky one. I mean, going into game week 6, especially like you mentioned, back-to-back hat-tricks. I've never been a fan of early kickoffs either, to be honest with you. So Salah plays in that early kickoff. Yes, so we got that as well. But the danger is obviously minutes, and we know Salah is more likely to get the full 90 than Haaland. There was a lot of talk, okay, when we're talking about midweek, whether Haaland starts. The prediction was that he wouldn't start this weekend. He plays midweek. He wouldn't start this weekend. Champions League on Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever they play. And obviously, I think they've got Spurs next week, is it? They've got a pretty... I think it's Spurs.
They got Spurs next week. Yeah. I think they have Sevilla, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, this would be the logical time to bench Haaland. I'm just assuming if you were to give Haaland the rest. What are your thoughts behind that?
I mean, it's fully logical.
Yeah.
To if let's theoretically Haaland gets a rest, I would also think that the Villa game is probably time to rest him. But that being said, Haaland he's such a machine that he can do damage in just 20 minutes.
Correct.
I mean, we all know this even before he came to the Premier League. I think those who are probably just only knowing Haaland this season, they are surprised by how monstrous he is. But me and you, Craig, we know how crazy this guy is.
I mean,
even during his...
like, you know, speaking to my friends, you know, there was a couple that doubted him, and I was just thinking, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that you can absolutely. I mean, this guy is unreal. Literally, I've seen him play. I mean, the first time I noticed him was when he scored 9 goals in the Youth World Cup or something like that. He scored 9 goals.
9 goals in one match. Yeah,
that was like, what was it, 4 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah,
and that's when
like 19, I think.
So that's when I knew that Alf Haaland obviously had a son. And then since then, I was like, okay, got to follow this guy. He must be pretty decent. And, you know, like, there was no doubt for me. He scored goals at every single level. There was absolutely no doubt. And if you can score goals in the Champions League and you know, in Europe, then I think you don't have a problem, really.
I still remember during when he was at Salzburg.
Yeah.
When they first came to the Champions League scene, he was only like 4.5 million in the fantasy.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, you know, that's ridiculous. Everybody have him on his team.
Yeah.
On their team. He practically his EO in the Champions League fantasy is probably definitely 100%. and he score goals like for fun. Even in Champions League. And I remember when he had his debut for Dortmund, he also like
he
scored
came off the bench, didn't he?
Yeah, he came on the bench and scored a brace, if I'm not mistaken. So this guy is, I mean, you just see the way he plays.
There's no weaknesses, is there?
He's probably the most perfect striker at the moment.
I've got to agree with you. I've got to agree with you.
And the way he plays, he's not like a Harry Kane type of person that you know helps the team everywhere. His purpose is to find those spaces, makes those runs,
plays on the shoulder of the defenders, and
and scans around the defense. You know, looking for weaknesses, looking for blind spots, and just use his physicality to just bully the whole, you know, break up the whole defense.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think he don't have many touches. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, he's not much of a creator.
Yeah.
But you know, if you ask, I mean, and he's also rested. I think he was taken off like 68 minutes, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
He was taken off early against Forest.
Okay.
Which is almost like half an hour.
Against Forest. Yeah.
He was taken. He was taken.
He's taken off very early. As soon as he got his. Yeah.
So, and Pep did say he's only 22. He's not a problem for him in terms of fitness and things like that. So as I mentioned before, I think the way City are playing, and they're on form at the moment, is playing around Haaland. So it's a quick turnaround. Whether they have trained enough to play without Haaland, that's another story altogether. But if I would probably stick him there and take it off, and in 60th minutes again.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the questions from the community. So just to finalize it, Joe, any more transfers that you're going to make just before the deadline, which is just over half an hour? So I'd say about half an hour's time. So start setting your teams, people that are watching. Pop your questions down there because we're going to get to them in the next couple of minutes. But Joe, any more transfers that you're going to make? Any switches to this team that you've got on there?
Nope.
Locked?
Yep.
Locked and loaded, ready to roll, yeah?
Yep. I would say my biggest differential this game week is double Forest defense.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to ask you while we're on this, would you do you have any free transfers left? You don't, right?
No, I'm out of free transfers yet.
Would you take Salah out in this game week? Because I've seen on Twitter there are people that are playing their wild cards early. There's no Salahs in there. I've just seen Heisenberg's wildcard team. He does not have Salah. He's gone for Sterling, and there's no De Bruyne. Would you do a Salah to De Bruyne just for a week? I saw that somewhere. I can't remember where it was. Might be Mariner actually. On Net That Hole.
Is it?
They were talking about, you know, how I think on the captaincy metric, and shout out to Net That Hole. Obviously, it was topped by Kane, if I'm not mistaken, and KDB was second on that. And they were talking about a punt, a game week one punt, a 1 week punt, sorry, of Salah to KDB. Would that be something that you'll do?
I mean, if you're talking about 1 week punt, Salah is playing away in Goodison, against Everton. Haaland playing away at Villa Park. I would say Villa is at a poorer state at the moment to Everton. Compared to Everton. So if you're talking about 1 week punt, I think KDB was benched last game week and brought on later. So he is probably as nil as you can be to start. Whereas Salah is playing in the Merseyside derby. The derby, could
anything can happen.
Usually it's a free for all in the derby. But if you ask me, I still think Liverpool should get this one because I think Everton is still lacks that strength. I think previously when they have Richarlison, it's still a bit. They might have a fighting chance, but I think without Richarlison, it's a bit tough for them. If you ask me for a 1 week punt, I'll probably do it.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, let's go on to the questions now. We don't have less than half an hour to go before the deadline, so we'll get to the questions now. Let's zoom through it and let's get your team out there, Joe. Let's see who we can do. Zoe's getting younger by day. Yeah, it must be that. Must be all that coffee he's drinking. We touched on this briefly. Thoughts of selling Ramsdale to either Pope or Sanchez? I mean, you mentioned Henderson. That's a move that you've done. But what about Pope or Sanchez? Sanchez, I've seen in a lot of on YouTube. A lot of YouTube videos. That's a move a lot of managers fancy right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. Between Pope and Sanchez, I would say there's nothing much between them, other than fixtures. So if you look at Brighton fixtures, they're playing at home against Leicester, and then they play next game they're playing against Bournemouth, and then after that, the week after next, they're playing at home to Palace. Which is quite a good fixture if you ask me. So. And besides fixtures, there's also the price point to look at. Okay. So if you look at Pope, he's 5.0. Sanchez, he's currently 4.7. So you're saving only like 0.3. Okay, let's look at Pope's fixtures. They're playing at home against Palace, away to West Ham, and then at home to Bournemouth. So if I think if you ask me, I would prefer Pope as my goalkeeper and a Brighton defender. That would mean I prefer that combination. If you do not have a Brighton defender, then probably you can go for Pope. But if you plan to make a transfer for a Brighton, I prefer the combination of a Brighton defender and Pope rather than Sanchez and or you can let me just think. Or you can do Sanchez and Trippier. That'll be quite a decent one as well. So I think either way you can't go wrong unless you already have a Brighton defender. I will go for Pope. If not, then probably Sanchez. Yeah, okay, that will be my answer.
Okay, fantastically answered. I think you answered this, Joe. Is Joe drinking a nice cup of Teh Tarik? He's not. He's drinking coffee. Vivek says, this is not Joe. Yeah, this is a younger regen version. This is Joe.
Post-COVID.
Yeah. Thoughts on Ramsdale? Should I transfer him to Henderson? Sanchez or just keep him? We kind of just touched on this. Would you take Ramsdale out this game week? Yes or no?
If you have 2 transfers,
yeah,
I'll probably use one for a goalkeeper. I'll probably use one to remove Ramsdale, because Ramsdale at the moment he's not worth that 5 million at all.
Okay.
But I would probably bias. I'll prefer Henderson out of those options.
Okay, fantastic. Hello guys, looking to sell Perisic, and that's another name that's popped up quite a lot this week. Between Neko and Estupinan, who is a better buy for short term? And this is a tough one because you've mentioned both of them in this stream.
I would go for Neko. Out of those two, Neko, okay. Because he's I think he's more involved in the attack. I think he took set pieces as well. So and they're playing Bournemouth on GW6, so probably I would go for Neko instead of Estupinan.
Okay, fantastic. Flaming Red says, I think Walker's pretty nailed too now. He probably is, to be fair, because there's no competition behind him. There's no risk of rotation. And his only risk, but in saying that, as we mentioned earlier, that Cancelo thing, if they were to give Walker a rest, it would be Cancelo that goes to right back, as far as we know. Or it would be bringing in a youth team player, which I highly doubt Pep would do, because he doesn't really do that. Cucurella says, hi guys, should I bench Cucurella? Gross Martinelli?
This is just a personal rule of mine. Which I broke last game week. I shouldn't have done that. Play your attackers over defenders. So in this case, probably bench Cucurella. Sad to say.
Yeah. So Gross Martinelli then. Oh, sorry. Who should I bench? Okay, so bench Cucurella. Okay, got you. Sweng says, "Hey, Sweng, how you doing, man? Good luck with your exams this week. If I'm not mistaken, it's exam week for this past week and the coming week. Could be wrong there, but yep." Arif Hakim, overall, do you think Rashford can perform well versus Arsenal? He rose in price tonight, so there must be quite a few managers bringing him in.
Yeah, but I don't know, because it's United did well last 2 games. They kept 2 clean sheets, but I think they only scored 1 goal.
Yeah.
So in terms of attacking, I think definitely in terms of defense they have strengthened up since Varane and Martinez started together.
Yeah.
But their attack is still a little bit blunt. Sorry to say. I'm not sure whether Anthony is going to start. What do you think?
I don't think Anthony starts.
Yeah, I don't think Anthony starts.
Nah.
Maybe Casemiro starts. Do you think?
Yeah, Casemiro's got a higher chance of starting. I think he will. This is the match that he starts. He's had about over weeks of training with the team. I think Casemiro starts. He looked really good when he came on against Leicester, by the way. Very tidy in possession. Anthony, not just yet. I think he'll be on the bench, but not for a start. I think I'm just looking at it. I think Elanga might be the one that makes way.
For Casemiro.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe they'll go with Bruno, what they did later on in the Leicester game, and they'll shift maybe Bruno out wide and play Eriksen a little bit higher up the pitch. But I don't know. I really don't know, because it depends if they bring Ronaldo in. That could be another possibility, because he looked pretty okay when he came on. So they could do a Rashford on the left, Sancho on the right, and Ronaldo
up top.
Yeah, that's
Eriksen,
a very serious.
Eriksen and Bruno. Then after that, Casemiro.
Yeah, that could be no. So it'll be so Ronaldo up top, Rashford left, Sancho right, Bruno in the hole, Eriksen and Casemiro. That would be what I'm thinking. I think he might give Ronaldo a start in this one. just because Rashford didn't look good up front against Leicester, and Ronaldo looked okay when he came on.
I mean, if you ask me, I think Rashford, he's not really suited.
Yeah, for that central role. Yeah,
100%. He's more on the left.
Yeah. I know he got the assist for the goal, to be fair. He did get the assist for the goal, but when you look at the overall game and how he played up front, I just can't see him being a striker, especially against... I mean, I think the likes of Saliba and Gabriel would have a field day against him. If I'm being honest, it'll be a bit too easy. So I think with Ronaldo up there, you probably, you lose a little bit. In terms of pace and things like that. But if you got Rashford on the left, I think he'll probably be up against like Tomiyasu or White or someone like that. Yeah.
But I think Ben White, if I'm not mistaken, I heard reports of him missing out.
So I think Tomiyasu comes in there, and I think Rashford will probably fancy his chances there. So I would say Rashford on the wing. Ronaldo up front, Bruno in the hole, Sancho on the right, and Casemiro in the middle.
So if Rashford plays at the left, you probably can play better.
Yeah, Like I said, I really like that matchup against Tomiyasu. We saw him play a couple of good games this season on the left, but he's definitely not a striker. Not for me anyway.
So to answer this question, I think if Rashford plays at the left, probably he can do better.
Yeah.
Than him being up front.
I think a lot of people brought Rashford in because he's a out of position player. But I just think he'll go back to midfield. I don't think long term he's up front, up top player. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Remember, there's less than 20 minutes to go before the deadline. DFS FE says thoughts on Sinisterra as a Rodrigo replacement. He looked good. He looked good in his first start, didn't he?
I mean, Sinisterra, he's a really
talented player.
Fun pick, I would say.
Yeah.
So in terms of my thoughts on him as a Rodrigo replacement, I don't mind at all.
Okay.
Definitely it will be his chance to show what he can do. Although he already started to show a glimpse of that, but I think he is probably the next. If you ask me on my thoughts on Sinisterra as a Rodrigo replacement, I don't mind at all. If in another scenario, I'll probably choose him as well.
Really?
If you can afford.
Interesting.
I think 6.5. It's a little bit on the pricey side as compared to
6.5 or 5.5. Sinisterra.
I think it's 6.5.
I thought he was 5.5.
6.5.
Is he?
Yeah.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
But someone that you just come in,
Yeah, it's a little bit expensive, but it's a fun pick for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see who we have. Fofana. Fofana should start as Aspie is washed, but they've just tied him down to like a 3-year contract or something, haven't they? Thoughts on Robertson? Brought him in on my wild card last game week. Wow. I think most people are trying to get rid of him.
Yeah. I think this is probably not the game week to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Unless you have other pressing issues, Robertson is still a hold for me.
Robertson's still a hold, yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay. 1 week punt. Who would you go for? Second part of that is I'm thinking Sterling or De Bruyne. Well, we just did talk about this.
Yep. Let's see. Sterling is playing against West Ham at home.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 week punt. I think 1 week punt I would prefer KDB.
Yeah. I'm actually very tempted. I haven't made my transfers yet. Yeah.
Oh, Salah to KDB.
I've got 2 transfers, and I'm very tempted by a 1 week punt. I'm not gonna lie.
Why not?
I'm very tempted.
I think you can do that in one move, and you can keep one transfer.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm gonna do.
I mean, if you need to bring Salah back in against Wolves.
Yeah. So I think I might do that. Is that your little kid?
Yeah.
Can bring him on the stream, no problem. No problem at all. Yeah, so I'm very tempted by that. But if you had to pick between Sterling or De Bruyne, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Where's that gone? Chonny Dorji says, "Hey Joe, give everyone a wave."
Hi.
There you go. Who are you guys captaining? So if you missed it earlier, Joe's on Haaland. I'll be on Haaland as well.
Unless you bring in KDB.
Nah, I think even if I bring in KDB, I think I'm still going to captain Haaland, unfortunately. So yeah. Oh, I've got. How long do I have? 15 minutes. Less than 15 minutes. Oh, do I do it? Do I do it? Big question. If not, I'm burning a transfer, right? Why not? Let's have some fun. If you're going to captain Ishak. Ooh.
Wow. Spicy.
Talk about differential. I like it, though. I like it. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I like it, too.
And Ernwin says, grab.
Choose one to start. I think that's Gross.
Is that Gross?
Yeah, I think so. It looks like Gross. Definitely not grab.
Gross, Mitrovic, Andreas, Perisic. Choose one to start was the second part of that.
I would probably choose Mitrovic.
Mitrovic, yeah. Is he against Spurs? Is he? Yeah, Spurs, right?
I mean, just because he's on he's definitely on form at the moment, and he's on penalties.
Sorry, just having a look at this. Choose one start. So Mitrovic, yeah?
Yep.
Bora TV says -4 for Perisic to James. Should it be done?
Let me see. I think Spurs playing against Fulham this week. What about their future games? Oh, they're playing in Man City next week. Yeah, Fulham, I think most probably he'll be benched. Yeah. And they're playing City next week. So compared to James playing Fulham next week. So I think, -4 should work. Should work long term.
Okay, I think this is probably one of the most important questions of the game week.
Grab.
Captain Grab. So any more questions? Get them in. We've got the last probably like 5 minutes before the FPL site crashes or something like that. So I still haven't done my team. I need to do my team. Oh God. I'm just reading all about FPL and our good friends there, and they're not really fancying this KDB pick, to be honest.
Really?
Just due to expected minutes. KDB has a 54% chance of anytime returns and a points projection of 5.8. Salah has...
I think we have one more question.
Oh, do we? Yeah, get it up, yo. No problem. Start 2. Dunk, Neko, Gabriel, or Andreas?
I think personally probably Neko and Andreas.
Neko, Andreas?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
But then again, Spurs, I think Romero is back. Bentancur is also back. So I think in terms of defense, they are probably a little bit stronger than before.
Yeah.
But then again, like I said, I mean, Neko is definitely a start. So it's between Dunk, Gabriel, and Andreas. I would prefer Andreas because he's involved in set pieces and he's an attacker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just hopefully Dunk doesn't score a header.
I know goal.
He already did his own goal for the season.
King of own goals, that guy. I swear. It's either that or red card.
So 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes to go, guys. Get your captaincies, get your team sorted. A bit rich because I haven't even done mine yet. Joe, never going to bench Andreas again.
Oh, yeah, man.
All right, Joe, what do I do?
KDB.
Do I start Trippier or Williams? That's the first question.
Oh, I think Trippier is playing against Palace, right?
Palace at home.
At home. Wow, tough. There's no other players you can bench?
Well, I've got my bench is... I'll share my team, actually. Screw it. Let me get my team up. Where are we? Share screen. Chrome tab. Right, can you see it?
Yep.
I might actually just do Ramsdale or Ward. I put Ward there because I thought, if I'm ever going to play him, it'd probably be this week. But I'm really unsure with this side, so I might just do this.
Actually. I think both players probably will get the same score.
Yeah, exactly, right. So I'll just put it on Ramsdale, actually, to be fair.
Your solid March.
Well, that was just like I had a transfer to burn in game week 5, and I had because I had Bailey, right? So I needed to take him out, and I was like, "There's literally no one in that price range to go for." And I just saw Solly March. I was like, "Screw it, I'll just do this."
Why not play with Trippier and bench March? I don't know.
Okay, the only reason why I'm not doing that is because you favor the attacker number 1, like you said.
Yeah, true.
And he's playing at home versus Leicester. And I saw Leicester the other day were terrible. Terrible. And I'm just thinking, you know what? You gotta favor the attacker, right? I mean, if it was a different fixture, like a harder fixture, I would have definitely done that. But that's the reasoning anyway.
But Trippier, though.
I know.
Oh man, tough one. It will probably be between March and Trippier for me.
March and Trippier, yeah. Sorry. If it's between those, I've got to go with the attacker, man. Because Crystal Palace are a decent team, to be fair. So, there's always that threat with Zaha and all that. I can see Crystal Palace scoring. That's my only thing.
Yeah, but I think St. James's Park is a different vibe, They're really strong. They're really strong at home.
But I saw this, I like the look of the Palace this season, to be fair. So,
yeah. I mean, yeah.
They're a bit dangerous, with Eze and all that, So I think I'm going to stick with March there. Do we have any more questions? Oh, shit. Okay, we got a few. Saliba, Pereira, De Silva, start one.
Probably Pereira. I'm not sure whether De Silva still continue to start. And even if he starts, he's not really that involved in the attack. I think, yes, he did score goals, but then that was low.
Oh, you did answer it. Sorry, Joe, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I answered the bottom. Yeah.
Okay, fair. Everyone's telling me to start Trippier. Okay, you want me to start Trippier, but for who?
I think if everybody asks you to
play Trippier, okay, I start Trippier. Okay, fair enough, but for who? Tell me who to start him for. For Neko? For Solly March? Oh god, this guy, man. Get off baby Wales. Love you, bro. Love you.
I don't know, man.
Guys, okay, play Trippier. You've told me for Solly March.
I think you should go with your gut. If you fancy March, then so be it.
Well, I mean, honestly, I've just brought him in because I needed to get rid of Bailey, and there was literally no one in that price range that was a good attacking, and Brighton attack well, right? So I just thought, I'd just take a punt. And I couldn't afford anyone else, pretty much, without making another transfer. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to go with March. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go with March just because he's playing at home, he's playing against Leicester, and he's an attacker. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I see his free kicks. I have. And they're good. They're good. It might come back to bite me, but I think we're going to stick with March, just like I said. I think Joe said it as well. Stick with the attacker. But, okay, this is a big question. I've got less than 5 minutes. Do I do Salah for De Bruyne as a gamble? I've got 2 free transfers. I can have some fun, I think. I can have some fun. Guys, what do you think? Should I not?
I personally
seriously contemplating it. I'm not even joking. I'm very. But then I saw the Mariners captaincy metrics and I liked it. I
mean, why not?
Yeah,
you can always bring Salah back.
Learning a transfer. I'm just looking at Andy as well, like on his stream. Let's Talk FPL, and he's captaining Salah.
Wow.
What does he know that we don't? He's keeping the faith.
Did he captain Salah last game week?
Yeah, he did. He captained Salah. Yeah, he's keeping the faith. He's going differential. Should I do it? Or what's everyone saying? Yes, for silly March. It's September and you still go with March. I like that. Boom, I like that. Oh, Big Balls captain choice. Really? So this on Haaland. I'm not gonna captain Kevin De Bruyne, by the way. You're just gonna bring in Salah, he takes pens. Go Trippier, you do. This is a hard scaring me though. He's scary. 3 minutes, man. 3 minutes. 3
minutes. I'm supposed to post my team out on Twitter as well. I think I'll probably missing out. I mean, like,
right. We've seen a locked and loaded team. We've seen it.
Yeah, my dilemma is now Andreas or Dunk first sub.
Andreas or Dunk first sub. It's gonna be Andreas, right? Oh, and they play Spurs. Well, I like this Fulham side, to be fair, from an attacking point of view.
Yeah, they're pretty potent. I think they have Willian as well.
Yeah,
and they have Daniel James.
It's a tough one, really.
I'll probably keep Andreas, I think, at the first sub.
Yeah. Okay, shit. I think I'm going to stay with Salah then, I guess. I don't know.
But you have 2 transfers, right?
I got 2 transfers, yeah.
So what are you going to do with it? The 2 transfers? Are you going to burn?
I'm going to burn one, isn't it?
No way, man.
Then what do you want me to do, dude? I've got like 2 minutes.
Burning transfers like a sin.
Hurry up, 2 minutes. 1 minute. What am I doing?
Know,
mate. Cheers. Yeah. That's a lot of help, isn't it? I don't know.
Do it. Oh man.
No one of these on Haaland. According to everyone, he's starting. So we'll just take it as that. Transfer out March for who? That's easy as said.
Do you have in the bank? How much do you have in the bank?
0.3.
Oh.
I don't have much money, so I can't do anything with that move unless I take someone out. Start Trippier. Oh shit. Okay, I'm bloody starting Trippier, man. Like.
Oh no, March is gonna score then.
Why would you do that? Okay, look, I've got a few seconds to make this. Am I doing it or not? Am I gambling? I don't think I've got the balls to.
Yeah. I would go for it, man.
Would you?
Yeah, why not?
Let's go. Done it.
Wow.
Done it. And I'm staying with this.
So who's your vice? Oh, you put De Bruyne as a vice.
Leave it, De Bruyne.
Yeah. Okay, I think time's up.
And that, my friends, is my team for game week.
Oh man.
I'm on Haaland as well. Yeah, I'm on Haaland with you boys. I don't know what you're on.
Yeah.
Salah hat trick. Cheers, bro. Thanks for that. That's a lot of help. Nah, let's gamble. I had a free transfer. Screw it. I just want to. I think Salah's been causing me a lot of stress, really. Oh,
time's up.
time's up. I can't do anything about it. But I had a free chance, and I can bring it back in. Not a problem. Technically, I can bring him back in right now if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah, all ready to get absolutely screwed over by Pep, really. To be fair, I've been thinking about that move the whole night. And it was
Salah to KDB.
Salah to KDB, yeah. It's been on my mind, to be fair, quite a bit.
I mean, like, since it's already on your mind for, like, you just go for it, you know?
Yeah, I was going to do it last night. Then I thought, look, I'll wait a little bit. And this doesn't pay off. I'm going to blame Mariner and
me.
Gabe, Lens. And you, like, say it's a sin. Jesus, what am I doing? Anyway, let's go. Come on, Everton. Man. I need Everton. Come on, Frankie Lamps. Let's see a tactical genius there.
Yeah,
a tactical display now. But
he's not really known for that, though.
He's not, which is the worrying bit. But I'm just gonna say that, you know, I just hope it's at Goodison. So well played, guys. De Bruyne, big shout, Craig. But why don't you just go Salah to Kane? Because that would be 2 moves, and I want to have 2 moves for the next week. Yeah. I can just do Salah to KDB in one, and next week I'll have two transfers. So I did it just so I don't burn it, really. I don't fancy rejigging my whole team just to accommodate Kane. As tasty as that Fulham fixture is, to be fair, as tasty as it is.
But I think Fulham currently there are no pushovers for sure.
Yeah. I don't think they are either, to be fair. Mm-hmm. It's not the same Fulham that we saw in the Premier League a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
Right? So, they look a lot more organised. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I think we'll learn a lot more about Fulham, in this match against Spurs, because we've seen how they played against Liverpool. It's like whether they can do it again against a big team.
Yep.
So just let's get your team back up. Yeah, you good? And this is what you're going with?
Let me just refresh. Can I refresh? Is it? Oh, oops.
No. Should not have done that.
let me just. Can I go back? No, I can't go back.
Can't go back.
Oh no, I can't go back.
But you ended up captaining, obviously, Haaland, yeah?
Haaland, yes. I think first sub is Andreas instead of Dunk. So Dunk is going to score, isn't he?
Well, I've got Trippier on the bench, so that everyone's telling me to start him, and I went for Solly Marsh. Come on! Massive differential, Jesus.
I think if Marsh scores, I think you're going to be I'm going to just tweet out and tag you.
All I'm going to say is that a couple of weeks ago, when I took out Rashford, everyone was saying go gross, and I went Trossard, and he ended up he got an assist, and then the following week he got a goal, and I was just like, what a mess. Now everyone's like, oh, you're going to get on Trossard. I was like, man, I was on that 2 weeks ago. All good.
I remember you texted me that you said you moved to Trossard. I was like, wow.
I said you'll never guess that move, right?
Yeah.
And it's paid off the last, he didn't do anything in the last game week, but I think the ones before that he got a goal and assist.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a bit of a differential, which I was quite happy about, to be fair.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyway, Joe, thank you very much for getting on the stream with us. It's been good to have you back.
Always good to be back.
Yeah, and we're definitely looking to do this a lot more as the season goes on. But thank you for taking the time out to spend and going with us. I know you're a busy man, but I think it's a good outlet considering you've been cooped up at home the last 10 days, is it? 2 weeks?
A week.
A week.
I think like 7 or 8 days.
Yeah. Okay. But fantastic stuff. I really enjoyed doing that stream, and it's good to have you back. And I'm sure everyone that watched really appreciates that. So thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, as always. And thank you guys for watching another episode of FPL Expectations, the deadline streams, which we all love. Always good. It went right down to the wire. And I made a potentially silly decision in taking Salah out for KDB, but it's FPL, it's early on. Why not, right? Thank you all for watching. Do give us a like. Do subscribe down below. Do follow us on social media. It's at FPL Expectations on Twitter. And if you'd like to follow me and Joe, for Joe, it's at Joe FPL. That's ZHOU FPL. And for me, it's at Craig Maurice, as you can see on your screens. Thank you. All the best. May the FPL gods be with you. And I wish you all a green arrow week. Yeah, that's what we want, right? That's what we do this for. We want to help you guys get that green arrow week. Over and out.